The large kitchen table in Guy and Pal's house drifts between a playful wakefulness and lethargic sleep. As objects keep flowing on its surface, living with it for a few moments, often for a day, and maybe even for months. The design team in the research department at the Royal College of Art in London developed the History Tablecloth as part of the ongoing Equator project. The team's work revolves around people's homes, and it hopes to challenge the traditional design view that electronic domestic products should be purely utilitarian. A working prototype of the table was deployed in Guy's home, one of the original probe volunteers.
Oh yeah? Alright.
Because this is the table we normally use.
Let's do it here then.
Yeah.
So you swap that table. I assumed you'd swap this table for that table, yeah?
So this is called the History Tablecloth. It is very simple. All that happens is that when you put stuff on the tablecloth figures out where it is and lights up a little light underneath it. And over time the light changes slowly. That's it. That's all. Bye.
I filmed Pal and Guy as they start living with their new table.
I really like I like it. I really like it. It's replaced the table that my other kitchen table I was just showing you. That was here, that sat in this position for probably 11 years.
Pal, who was not involved in the initial probe's research project, looks at this from a different perspective as opposed to that of Guy's.
You know, Guy's been waiting for this table for a very long time, so it's just sort of like, I don't know, it's sort of quite strange, so I had to kind of fit into that. So
you don't really think about how static your domestic arrangements are until something like this happens, and I mean it wouldn't ordinarily happen. I've got a dining room table. I had that before I moved into the flat, so that came with me and it sat here, and I never ever thought, oh, that table hasn't moved for X amount of time. That hadn't occurred to me.
How can the intrusion of a new object trigger rich insights into the routine nature of domestic life and the use of technology within the home?
I think what I don't like about the table is that it's got a big hard drive thing that sits with it. So actually it feels like you're sitting with a kind of computer rather than you're sitting with a table.
I was told a long time ago that it would be some sort of, well, it was electronic tablecloth, and that it was reacted to things that you put on it. So I'd imagine that it was recording the data. So I was curious as whether that data could be played back through the actual tablecloth, so you could record like a dinner party and play it back.
The History Tablecloth uses load sensors and electroluminescent film printed on fabric to translate the weight of an object into a pattern which grows over time. When the object is removed, the glow fades away.
With the wooden table, it's got like a pattern on it already of age and the grain of the wood and etc. That's not a thing that you associate with manufactured things. So this, however, is very similar in that it develops its own patina.
How can technology explore implausible values and give space for experimentation within the monotony of daily domestic life?
I like things to have like a real interest value, not just aesthetically. You know, I like technology, but I like technology to be used in a natural setting, so I want to work in harmony with what's around. The other day when I was working, I put my stuff on there, and it was quite evening time as well. By the end, I'd covered most of this half of the table, but then that was really interesting because suddenly that side of the table looked very lonely. The table's trying to fit in with people and their lives rather than people having to fit in with, you know, the table. That's a very different thing, but I think that requires like someone to understand how you kind of live your life, you know, and maybe we are, you know, if you look at that side of the room, we have loads of cables, but you know, we don't choose to look at those, and we don't choose to sit there or, you know, have food or have any interaction there other than, you know, what that is. It's a workspace. It's like, it's kind of like being turned into a workspace.
This is the area we use, and this is the area we entertain. It's the area where we have lunch. This is where we sit and have a drink. Everything in the flat tends to go on here.
Can the new table redefine the meaning of space within the home?
At night time we really sort of quite like it, I think. You know, sometimes when I wake up in the night and go to the bathroom, I sort of like turn around and it's beautiful, it's all lit up and, you know, and it's really lovely because it lights your path.
Can such an intrusion spur people to question their own values?
Sometimes you can miss something just because you're regimented to a pattern or a kind of solid way of thinking, and so you can become constrained by that. Whereas if you're kind of freed up from that, if I could free myself up from all the things that kind of paralyse me into kind of like not appreciating the table, then maybe I would see something else in it.
Guy and Pal prepare for dinner.
I like the fact that these things are about my domestic life, because I'm very concerned about that. And look, there's other people who are concerned about what you do. And you know, in the humble things you do in daily life, you know, I can't imagine not cooking, you know, or doing stuff like that. You know, you need some sort of meaning in what you do, and you spend your life doing absolute things which are completely pointless. You know, worrying about issues and things which really are utterly pointless.
We leave them to enjoy their meal as they plan to invite friends for dinner to show them their new electronic tablecloth.
If it's going to happen, it's going to happen just before your dinner party, isn't it? When your guests just arrive, about to arrive, and your tablecloth's crashed. It's going to ruin it, isn't it? I'm sorry, dinner's been cancelled, the tablecloth's crashed.